Hi, I'm Tom Edwards, coming to you from the show floor at CES 2019. Today, I'm going to talk about 10 of the macro trends that I've seen during the course of the show. Everything from AI everywhere, how AR is moving to framing the future, what's happening with the voice ecosystem wars, and more. So I hope you enjoy this video.
After watching all of the main press conferences of CES 2019, 3 clear themes emerged. AI is everyone's favorite acronym, gaming is evolving, and 5G will change the world. For gaming, laptops are approaching parity with desktops, and world-class gaming experiences with high-end graphics are now available for those without high-end PCs. This matters for anyone looking to create immersive experiences in VR, AR, or physical environments, as it means the processing power and graphics power needed to create these is becoming ever more affordable and portable. 5G also featured prominently in many press conferences. Ultimately, we saw a lot of promises and just an average start, with few devices taking advantage of it. We're not likely to see any real benefit to consumer applications until the end of 2019 and likely well into 2020. However, corporate applications will abound before then. My guess is we'll see more practical applications and hopefully a little less hype at next year's CES. AI is everywhere. At the show, we saw claims of AI in cars, mirrors, glasses, toys, robots, luggage, toothbrushes, punching bags, and don't forget the toilet and litter box. In fact, we saw the words plastered on so many things throughout the show, it was clear in some cases that the words were being used as more of a marketing technique than an actual descriptor of the technology being used to power the device or experience. That said, we've come a long way. 2 years ago, there was a focus on connecting every device. Last year, the theme shifted to device ecosystems. Now, it's AI devices, and in some cases, devices that can even collaborate with each other, like this LG vacuum set. This is where the promise of the smart home and integrated health will really start to shine. Expect to see a lot more of this in the future.
Voice assistants have been, like Google Assistant and Amazon Alexa, have been a staple of the Consumer Electronics Show for the past few years, and 2019 was no exception. The key theme this year was expansion of the ecosystem. It seemed like every other announcement was talking about a new integration with either Alexa or with Google Assistant, to the point to where Samsung even moved beyond their own Bixby Assistant to announce integration in their 2019 TVs. You had Dish bringing Google Assistant in, Whirlpool developing new products, Lenovo, and a number of other use cases tied to automotive, tied to the handset. The key point here is really that the portability of the voice service is really becoming realized, and these ecosystems are continuing to expand. CES 2019 also brought incremental innovation through augmented reality as well, so we continue to see this shift. Augmented reality technology to date, I would almost use the analogy of framing a house, to where a lot of the technology has been foundational. As we continue to see technology and form factors evolve, at CES, it moved more towards framing the future. So almost like framing the house. You can begin to see how it's all going to come together. One of the core vendors that I really enjoyed the experience was Vuzix and Vuzix Blade. This is the 3rd year that I worked with and saw the technology. During the course of the show, I was able to walk through various kind of demos and use cases that they had set up, from how the glasses would interact with television, how I could look at a specific product off the shelf, and ultimately even identify restaurants and pull elements like you would from a Google review. And this was incredibly key. What's also key from an AR perspective was the focus on volumetric content creation. Basically taking physical objects and digitizing them, and then being able to apply and interact with them spatially as well. So there was a lot of progression from a technology perspective with kind of this move from foundational to framing of AR. One of the trends that literally caught my eye at CES 2019 was actually televisions featuring 8K. Now, it wasn't just about the image on the screen that caught my attention, or the size. I mean, some of these TVs were massive, up to 98 inches. It's really about the move towards these higher definition, bigger screens that we're also integrating with other elements, such as artificial intelligence for upscaling, as well as voice. So as I mentioned previously, Samsung is now integrating with Amazon Alexa as well as Google Assistant. what this is going to allow, it's going to allow for the shift towards multimodal, of voice, of vision, potentially of touch. So as we think about screens becoming wall size, you need to have a higher definition, but you also need to be able to take existing content and be able to port that up as well. One notable additional mention here when it comes to displays were the number of flexible displays on the show floor this year. We've seen them at the show for years, but now we're actually seeing them integrated into consumer products. So again, this opens up a whole new canvas for marketers to consider when it comes to helping consumers personalize their products.
Experiential design. What we call the body as an interface isn't exactly new, but we've been seeing a steady progression of the technology over the past few years. This year, we saw more complex iterations of sensor-driven interfaces that allow us to use our own body or mind in intuitive ways to control an experience, rather than forcing the use of controls or joysticks. From mind control EEG interfaces that control video games and race cars, VR shoes that simulate running, and even reactive fabrics that bring back memories of the Nintendo Power Glove, new interfaces are popping up every year to expand the toolset for creating immersive experiences. Over time, we'll see a better case for these devices as they work together to create holistic control systems at a price that's a bit more consumer-friendly. In the meantime, these offer great opportunities for creating memorable on-premise experiences.
As we've seen over the past few years, it's not about the introduction of entirely new technologies or shifting paradigms. It's more about the gradual expansion of the tool sets we can use to create more compelling and immersive experiences. I hope you enjoyed the trend recap. We'll see you next year.